Hey guys, today I just wanted to take you on a little bit of a tour of my planters, planting vessels, all sorts of different little things I have around the place that I use for potting my plants. I'm not going to take you one by one through all of my planters, otherwise we would be here for hours. But these are mostly going to be some of the standouts, some of my favorites, the ones I really love or like hold a special place for me or have characteristics that I overall really enjoy and feel that you will enjoy as well, which is why I'm going to show you. In the past, I've definitely done more of the like terracotta basalt planter kind of thing, just like the more basic ones. I say basic not as a bad thing, but I do gravitate more toward the weirder or have really unique characteristics. And that's really something that in the past like couple of years, I think I've gotten more into the planter aspect of things because I haven't been collecting as much. In fact, I've kind of downsized my collection. So instead of collecting the plants, I've kind of tried to scale up my planter game, if you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, I do love terracotta, especially those collections where people do only terracotta and it's like every single planter is terracotta, but like a little bit different because patina, you guys, patina is so beautiful to me. So I do have a few of my terracottas I will show you that I absolutely love because they have patinaed very beautifully over time. And patina is when it gets like mineral deposits. I think it like discolors whitish, brownish, greenish, you know, the discoloration, and it looks so unique from planter to planter, which is why I really like it. So don't get me wrong, I do love terracotta. I just definitely prefer the more aged looking terracotta rather than like a crisp, brand new planter. This is the planter I want to show you. I really like this one. It stands out a lot to me and it actually is like one of my top favorite planters because I love the shape of it. I also like the fact that the saucer is built in. It has a drainage hole out the side here, has gotten a little bit of the patina. Unfortunately, mine is starting to crack because this got knocked over kind of recently, but I'm on the hunt for something to up pot this plant in because it's drying out way too fast. So it's definitely time, but I've had a hard time because I just love the shape of this planter so much, especially with this like skinnier, weirdly shaped plant. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, the coloration of this is just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, would you look at this side, this back side? Wow. That is so pretty. So I do really like this one. I love the shape of it. I love how easy it is because it has the saucer already attached. Okay, let me put it back. We're out there. Another one I'm going to show you right off is actually this, an old candle cup that I washed the candle out of, and it now houses my Macote's Patola jewel orchid. I do really like keeping containers like this, and I also really love thrifting containers like this because I think you can do some really cool displays with these. Clearly, I just kind of threw this one in here, but planter hack. It's a really cheap option, especially if you already have some of these around, but you can thrift them for like 25, 50 cents where I live. So it's a really good option, and I think that they are very fun. You could also paint them and make them really pretty. So I always like using these kind of things as planters. Okay, so now we are to my dresser, and I do have a few things to show you here. So first, over here, I do have a few. I actually have 4 little terracotta planters that I do really like. The reasons I love these ones so much and I keep them in my bedroom is because it's so weird. I said I'm going to show you some of the more unique ones, and I've been showing you literally probably my most boring ones of my collection, but I promise it gets a little better from here. Anyway, these are some of my favorite ones, particularly the 2 Hoya ones and then also this Florida Ghost one, because they do have like really beautiful patina that has a wide variety of color. I've had these for a long time, and in fact, they were probably some of the first planters I ever bought. Something else I love about these is that they are spruced up a little bit with some extra little accessories, I guess. But I think the plank really adds to it. Of course, this beautiful patina discoloration adds to it. And then also on all of these ones I'm speaking about right now, I've added little crystal dishes underneath that have more interesting patterns or shapes. I think it looks really nice. And especially when you get a whole bunch of them together, like here I have 4 of them. I think they look really good and they can make a statement, even though they are in, as I've called them a million times, more basic planters. I'm gonna keep doing this. Nobody gets mad at me because I have to show you this one up close. This is another one of my older terracottas. This one kind of flakes off a little bit, but I just try not to touch it too much. Isn't that nice? So another one I keep here is this kind of bubble planter that is from AreaWare. I think it's really cute and just kind of crisp. I just have it sitting here because I think ideally I'll be moving a whole bunch of just white planters on top of my dresser. Since it is made of wood, I think the white would really pop. I just haven't found the right plant for this one yet, but I do think it's really cool. It's actually a planter with drainage holes saucer set, which is really nice. I have actually in the past also used this upside down as like a plant riser. So I like little multi-purpose things like this. And yeah, I do think it's really fun. Although I will say this one does get a little bit dirty pretty easily because it does have a matte finish, and dirt, smudges tend to stick to the matte finish a lot more. So just something to keep in mind, but it's not too big of a deal. Stay tuned. Someday soon, we're gonna pot something into this that's perfect. If you have a suggestion, let me know. I'm on the hunt for some plants for these. Oh my gosh, yeah. If you have any suggestions for some of my empty planters, help me fill up these bad boys because I do wanna fill them up. I'm all ears to those suggestions. So those are probably my standouts on this dresser. This one is just a crock, which I've also had for a long time. I remember I was so excited when I bought this because it was the first planter I ever like splurged on. I think it was actually just a regular old crock, you know, for like the kitchen. I think you're supposed to put like your utensils in it. I don't know what they're actually for, okay? But I had my dad drill a hole into the bottom of it. So now it's a planter. And it is one of my older planters, one that I probably will keep until the day I die, and then I'll pass it on. Anyway, these next two live on the windowsill in my bathroom, but they're very, very backlit at the moment. So I'm just pulling them in here to show you. The first one, I don't actually love the saucer it's in. It's just in a plain little terracotta, which is fine. It looks fine. It's just not ideal for me. It's also a bubble planter. I really, really love this ceramicist. I found the shop on Etsy. I'll have to put it on screen because I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but highly, highly recommend checking it out. I love the kind of like it looks like it's stacked stones. I like how there's some different little finishes going on. You know, up here we have raw looking clay, and then this has the shiny glaze I was talking about. I don't know the terminology. Okay, I'm not a ceramicist. There's like very earthy tones, but then what really sets this one apart for me is the fact that it has some like little metallic pops in there that make it really shine. It's almost oil spill looking. There's like the shop signature there. So pretty. Definitely like a top 10 favorite, I would say. I wonder how many I'll say are top favorites in this whole video, probably a bunch. And then this next one is another Etsy find. So this one is from Carolyn Powers Designs. It's actually made of concrete, and I bought this one as a set. I will say one thing I'm a little bit bummed about is I haven't had this very long, but there is a little chip right here with kind of some like netting stuff poking out. Pretty bummed about that. I haven't even dropped this or anything, so I'm not sure how that happened or where that came from, but I do like, I can just put it in the back, it's fine. I do still very much like this one. It has a really nice, kind of a more simple shape, but the fact that it has so much texture, I love. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cute. Okay, so we are in our guest bathroom, and of course I have to talk about my Mipa's Pots and Planters. Is it Mipa's Pots and Plants? Oh my gosh, I think I'm saying the wrong, I think I've been calling it the wrong name this whole time. It is, it's Mipa's Pots and Plants. I'm such an idiot. Okay, anyway, this is a Mipa's Pots and Plants UFO planter, and I really love it. It's two-toned. The top is a speckled ivory, and the bottom is kind of a sandy beige, which I love this color combination. I think it's something that would look good anywhere. And of course, the really cool feature about this planter is it has a really big drainage hole, so you can pot plants out of the bottom. I did a full video on potting this one. If you're interested in watching that, seeing what the process was like for me. If you're interested in buying this for yourself, you could check that out. But I think it's really cool. And actually, side note, but a tomato plant has sprung, well, it looks like a tomato plant. I'm not exactly sure that's what it is, but it's what it looks like, has sprung out of the top. So I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. You can, of course, plant through the top if you just like this as a regular planter, but I think it looks so cool like this. So I really can't say enough good things about Mipa's Pots and Plants. All of their pieces are absolutely beautiful. And there's a few more on my want list, but they sell out so fast. I always miss them. One day I'll be able to snag some more, but for now, I'm just enjoying my UFO planter. So another kind of good example of a terracotta. Gosh, 80% of the video is terracotta so far. This is one of my newer ones, not much patina going on, but I do want to mention that I love the more simple terracotta look with like very wild, wonky looking plants that kind of have a lot going on in terracotta, so it doesn't like distract from the plant. So this is a combination. Let's move it over here so you can see a little better. This is a combination I'm very happy with, and I think it's the perfect example of, you know, sometimes terracotta is just the right choice. And I feel like that's the case with this little ensemble with the Ripsalis, terracotta, and cool shaped saucer, which I thrifted. I do have another thrift with me video coming out either next Friday or the following Monday. I can't remember which one it is on my schedule, but it will be coming. So we will definitely be thrifting some new pieces. I'm really excited for that. So stay tuned. Let's move on. Okay, we're in my living room to my IKEA cabinet, and I don't actually have too many to talk about right here, but I did definitely want to show you my little deer planter. It's more of like a vase, I guess, but I thrifted this a couple years ago and have used it for water propagations. This is one of the planters that I keep on display, even though it doesn't have a plant in it, because I think it's so cute. Isn't it cute and like sweet and precious? My boys also love it. They like ask to pet the deer all the time, and I'm like, okay, 2 fingers, you gotta be gentle. So they don't break it because it is ceramic, but I love it. I thrifted it, like I said, so it is a secondhand piece. I think, like I said, it's just cute even without a plant. It looks cute surrounded by plants. It looks cute with the plant in it. So the possibilities are endless there. Another one over here that I really love is actually kind of being used as a saucer right now. I have this kind of weird, I guess what I would call a Pilia peperomoides bonsai situation going on. And I have it in a very tall, simple terracotta planter, which yeah, it's fine, but I just think adding this down here made it look a heck of a lot cooler. I don't know, if you just feel like you have your plants potted in a planter that you maybe don't like, but it's not quite time to repot them, you could always try like switching out the saucer, something a little more interesting and intricate like this to help accentuate things. And I know, okay, this is not gonna be everybody's cup of tea for sure, but I love it. And the planter itself has little like cherub babies on it with some grapes and some goats. What more could a girl ask for in a planter, you know? So I do think this is really cool. And one day when I do repot the Pilia, then I can go ahead and pot something into this as well. Pretty excited for that day, but for right now, I do think this looks really cool sitting on my plant shelf here in the living room. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of this one because it's here where we're sitting a lot of the day. And I think it's just kind of a cool, slightly wonky combo, which kind of seems to be my thing. I definitely gravitate towards that kind of weird, but also kind of cool look. Also in my living room, I have this table that Ryan actually built with his hands and some tools. But right now it is housing quite a few of my empty planters, and these are actually some of my favorite empty planters that I like to just have out on display so that when I need to repot a plant, I can just kind of come to my table, see what I have available, and be able to pot my plant in it like right away instead of searching through my plant supply closet. That's kind of a mess in there. I mean, I could show you guys that if you're interested in a video. So it's nice to have them out like this, and especially because a lot of these are ones that I find really beautiful anyway. So like with the deer planter, I like to look at them, whether they have a plant in them or not. I guess we'll just start from here and work our way this way, and I'll show you some of the standouts from this table. So of course, I have to show you one of the ones that I made myself because it's something I'm very proud of. This is made out of polymer clay. I actually hand shaped all of these flowers individually and then stuck them on. I really, really love this, and it was my first time kind of trying something more intricate like this. Of course, I'm speaking about my own thing, so maybe that's rude of me to do, but I really do like it. And I also put a drainage hole down there. So making planters like this is one of my hobbies that I just do not have enough time for. Although I wish if I could, I would do it every single day because I really love it. Another one I made is actually right here, and I made it more of a terracotta rusty orange color, but again, kind of the same situation with like the flowers and the shape of the pot and some drainage holes. So I do really like this. And of course I really like this because I could make, since I made it, I could make something that I would like perfectly like, you know what I'm saying? I did it exactly as I would want it. This is one of my favorite ones just because, again, it's a hobby of mine and I'm like very proud of myself that I was able to have the patience to do this because it was a task, let me tell you that. I do have a full video on the process of this you can watch if you're interested. I showed you how to do like each of the individual little flowers and then the planter process itself. So if you want to make something like this for yourself, you totally could. I will say it's kind of a pain in the ass, but like in a fun way, in like a fun hobby way, you know? Oh, okay. So this is another one from that same ceramicist on Etsy that I didn't know how to pronounce the name, but I really love it. I just love how like earthy and natural their pieces are. They have very like organic shapes to them. I think the thing that stands out to me about this one is the fact that it has 5 legs instead of, you know, like the 3 or 4 that they usually have. I do really like that. It has the mixed finish, which I like. It is very small, so that's kind of the issue I've had with finding a plant for it. I've had things potted in here and then they just grow out of it so fast. So I need to find a very slow growing, like maybe Sansevieria or something could go in here. Maybe a Codex plant would do well in here. Again, recommendations, I would appreciate them. I would appreciate them. This one is one of the weirder ones probably in my collection. A creepy little Rudolph. This is made by Sick Kitty Ceramics, and they also have a lot of really cool pieces on their Etsy shop. There's quite a few that I really like, but I tend to, with the weirder ones like this, I tend to buy them small and I don't have a lot of small plants, so it's hard for me to find things to pot into them. That's kind of the situation with this one. So good thing I can just have it on my little planter table right here so that I can look at it and enjoy it still, even though there's nothing potted into it. But again, any recommendations? I would appreciate it. Another newer one to my collection is this kind of mushroomy looking planter. I actually got this on Amazon and it was less than $20. So I'm really, really happy with it. It doesn't have a drainage hole. I guess it's actually technically a vase. I plan to put an anthurium in it that I prefer to pot into like sphagnum moss with perlite, that kind of a thing. When I pot plants into sphagnum moss, I don't actually like them to have drainage holes because then they dry out way too fast. So if you find a vase like this that you want to use as a planter, try potting in sphagnum moss. It's a really great way to do it and it's pretty easy to take care of. I thought it was so cute. It has such a cute shape. Again, it's kind of that matte white finish. So this is one that will definitely end up over on my dresser once I get it potted. Since I got it so recently, it will probably still be available. So I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. I think it's really cute. There were a few other colors as well, but I very much love this one. It's a good one. Now on to this bad boy, which top all-time favorite for me is this one. Isn't it so pretty? This one just has so much texture, quite a bit of color without feeling like too much, you know? I got this on the American Gringo and it's made by Emilio Martinez Ceramica. My absolute favorite thing about this was probably just a happy accident, although I could just totally be making that up, but I love the little drip here. It kind of looks like a little leg when it's like sitting on a surface. It just looks like it's a leg that's meant to be there to help keep it standing. I love that about it. I think it's so beautiful. I love the colors. I love the finish. Again, the texture is just amazing. And I 100% will be putting a Codex in here. Initially, I had my Philanthus mirabilis in here, but I rotted it out. So maybe I'll try one of those again next year. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. Talk myself into it. I'm gonna go order one after this. Okay, another kind of newer one that I actually got at the same time as that vase is this bad boy. This is by Kinto. It's just a really nice, sleek shape, and I love the really shallow saucer, and then how it kind of tapers in like this is really nice. This is another one that I feel like kind of no matter what plant I put in here, it would look good, but I do really, oh wow, and the drainage hole, huge. I'm gonna show you this one because it's from my mom. I think she actually did the drainage hole in the bottom. It looks really old and worn, but I really like it. I love the shape of it. It's really cute. I had a Hoya in it before, but it actually grew out of it. The thing I love about this one is, like I said, my mom gave it to me and I didn't really have, like, I love the color yellow, but I didn't really have any yellow going on in my house. And ever since she gave this to me, I'm like, I need to add more yellow. So since then I've been adding more yellow to my house because it's a color that makes me really happy. So I'm really glad that that came from getting this planter from my mom. So yeah, again, just need to find the perfect little plant for it, and also a saucer. That's kind of the other thing. Sometimes I have a plant I want to put in them, but I need to find a saucer, and it's just trying to find the right combination, you know? It's a work in progress. That half of the table is more of the warm tones. We're moving to the cooler tones. This is actually a matching set. My mother-in-law gave this to me for Christmas a few years ago, probably like 3-4 years ago. Someone she knows, like, son made them, and I think they are so pretty. They have that really like natural, organic shape to them, and I especially love this one. I don't know, it like kind of reminds me of a flower, how it like opens up like that. I love the different textures. I have a thing for like mixed print, mixed textured, mixed color, I guess. Kind of uniquely shaped planter, which I think is probably why I've had a harder time finding something to grow in it. It has to be like just the right thing to sit how I want it to in there. So still on the hunt for that. This right here, this little green one, is actually made out of polymer clay. It's a hanging planter. There's little holes so that I can hang it, but I accidentally watered a plant in it too much, and what's the stuff that was in it? Cord that was in there got wet and like broke off, but I do still really like it. I may end up hanging it again. Not quite sure. We'll see what happens, but I love it. A gal named Alex that I actually went to college with sent this to me since we've been in college, and it was so nice. She sent it with a painting she did when Kai was born, have it hanging up in his room, but that was just so nice of her, and I like really do love and cherish the 2 planters that she sent to me. It means a lot that she took the time to do that. And yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the color. I love the shape, everything. This one is a little hummingbird with some flowers that Ryan and I got when we went to Belize this last April. I had a succulent potted into here, but one of my kids pulled it out and I just haven't repotted it. I do try to find little things like this that I'll actually use everywhere we travel instead of buying, like, I don't know, stuff that I buy and then just like sits around and I won't use, you know? These are things that I actually will use. So I do really like it, and maybe it's a shot glass. Is it a shot glass? It might be, but I'm gonna use it as a planter. Oh, this one, actually, another splurge I gave myself in my beginning days of plant keeping. Really, really love the color of it and the texture. And again, I already spoke about how much I love saucers that are attached to the planter, so I don't have to worry about it coming apart if I like pick it up. Yeah, love the color, love the texture. It's so pretty. And it's an easy one to just kind of pot whatever in and it'll look good. It's that same kind of like this shape that looks good with anything. Okay, so this one is a fun one that also means a lot to me because it has, okay, first of all, it has that really pretty turquoise color, which I love. Really pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it. And there's not actually a signature on the bottom of this one, but I found this back in college. Right before graduation, they put out a big table with all of the ceramic students' projects from that year that people didn't claim. This didn't get claimed, and I have kept it with me ever since. It's been a long time. I'm getting old, but I love it. I am so glad I kept it. I think it's really pretty, and I love how it has this little like raised bottom that's a different color. I just think it looks really nice. I actually had my Hoya carry planted in here, got too big recently, like a couple weeks ago, had to move it out. So I'm just waiting for the perfect thing for this, but I love it a lot. Okay, another exception to the basalt, terracotta, or kind of boring rule are when they're like weirdly shaped. I freaking love these round basalt planters. Everything looks good in them. No drainage hole, not a problem, as we've gone over. So I have to talk about this one. It's also from the American Gringo. It's made by Death Cactus by Joshua Evan. I love all of his work. I think it's so cool. The texture, they just look so nice. have really nice drainage holes. I definitely want to do a cool bonsai kind of thing in here, and I love it. I love it. I kind of went through a phase where I only bought like shallow planters like this for a while, and then I ran out of plants to pot into them. So I'm on the hunt for a few different ones that I have. And then this one, which is actually a planter, but it looks like a real skull. I only bought this because Rachel from Heart Shaped Leaves showed it in a video, and I thought it was really cool. She influenced me. It had my Syndapsis silver cloud in it. It's gotten too big, so I don't know. We'll see what we end up with. Perfect for Halloween. I should put this out on my front porch as part of my decor, don't you think? That's what we're gonna do. So it's kind of a twofer. Halloween decoration and also planter with the drainage hole. Okay, so that's this whole table. I think now we're gonna move downstairs, and I'll show you some of my planters down there that I love, and yeah, let's go. Welcome to my office computer room where I edit, where I spend like 50 hours every week editing. Some of my actually favorite planters are down here because I do spend so much time down here, and I like to be surrounded by things I love, you know? So if I get a little distracted, I can gaze at my planters for support. Oh, this one. Here is another handmade one that I bought from Teeny Pots. I really like the color of it. Perfect for like succulents because it is a little more shallow and pretty small. Also has the saucer built in, but this one, you guys, it has 3 drainage holes. See right there, Teeny Pots. And I love planters that I know somebody used their bare hands, their own 2 bare hands to make. People are so talented. I'm sure this is a hobby I could very much get into. You know, I'll let other people do that and I'll buy their work because I don't have time for it. But I am glad that other people find time for it because they are things I really like. Handmade things like this, I just love. Love it. Okay, while we're here, another example of patinaed terracotta with an interesting shaped saucer to spice it up. I think it's really cute. Okay, this is in Philodendron atabapoense, by the way. Another one here that is kind of terracotta, but I love is this little thing. So I'm not sure what this was meant to be, but I bought it in Belize. I think it might've been like a teacup, but I freaking love it. So this is another one that means kind of a lot to me, even though it's kind of basic, because I bought it on our Belize trip. I had a really great time on that trip. So these little mementos are nice because not only do I get a memento, but my plant gets a home. This was just plain orange when I got it. It has patina this much since April, which is pretty cool. There's that one. Oh, here's another one. I have a Sansevieria in it, so it isn't currently hanging, but this is another one that Alex made, the friend from college. So this is the other one she sent me at the same time. And you can see there's like some twine in here. So I could hang it, although maybe, oh wow, that's actually pretty cool. Should I hang it like this? Maybe I'm gonna hang it like this. Needs to stop twisting though, it's making me nervous. I didn't think that I would love it hanging with a Sansevieria in it, but I actually think I do. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hang this up somewhere. So stay tuned in my next plant day vlog. We're gonna be hanging this up together. This is another piece to that one I showed you up there that my mother-in-law gave me for Christmas. I especially love this one because it has this kind of little foot for support so that it sits, you know, flat. It's just so weird looking, but in a cool way. And yeah, my Sansevieria is just absolutely thriving in here. When I threw it in, it was only the one plant. It has now pushed out, I can't remember which one was the original one, but it's pushed out a baby and then also a fresh baby like this last summer, which is really exciting. So probably next year, end of summer, I'll repot it. These can get quite root bound though, so I'm gonna leave it for as long as possible. But yeah, this is a part of that set I showed you from upstairs. Okay, this one is from the American Gringo again, one of my favorite places for planters, from Death Cactus by Joshua Evan. Look at that. It looks like a chess piece or like the top of an old castle. I love it. Cool texture. Someone made this. Joshua Evan made this with his hands. And that's, it went from a ball of clay to this in my house with a plant. Like, that's so crazy. I'm not trying to knock anything over. I've got to show you another artist that I'm very much like a huge fan of that has blown up is Pixie Blood. This is the first Pixie Blood. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. That's a lie. This is one of my Pixie Blood planters, but I just love her work. Her whole vibe is cool, okay? I'm a big fan, but this is one of her pieces. These are actually made of polymer clay, and she calls them her creeps, and I love my creeps, the creeps that I've bought from her. They're just all so freaking cute and kind of weird, and there are no drainage holes, and although these are Sansevieria, so I don't have them potted in sphagnum moss, I just keep regular soil in here, even though there's not a drainage hole. I'm just careful when I water it to not overwater it. I watch the plant for signs that it's thirsty before doing anything to it. I don't just, these can tolerate neglect. I do lean on the underwatering versus overwatering for ones that I plant like this. My other creeps that I've bought from Pixie Blood are all empty at the moment. They are definitely on my list of things to get potted. Should I show them to you right now since we're here? Yeah, since we're talking about them. So let's just move them all over here so they can all be together like a little family. Actually, the first creep I ever bought was this one, who I call Wybie, because based on a character from one of my favorite movies. So let me know if you know what movie this would be based from. I just think that, oh my gosh, it's just so cute. And it has this little earring. I freaking love it. Okay, it's from Coraline, Wyborn from Coraline. I also have this creep, which Wybie is the only one that I've named, well, with one exception, but you'll see that in a second. And yeah, cute little guy. I also have this little sad guy who's crying glitter tears, and Kai actually pulled the ear off of this one like a long time ago. I have the ear somewhere, but I just haven't glued it back on yet. They lost their ear, and that's why there's tears. I'm so sorry. Are you kidding me? She is so talented. Polymer clay is so hard to work with. It's like really hard. It's really hard. That's what my planters are made out of too. So I like have a lot of respect for this, especially the fact that this one looks so like realistic. Anyway, and then my last one from Pixie Blood is this, guess the character. Some of the hairs came off in shipping, unfortunately, and I have since lost them. So the hair will not be being glued back on, unfortunately, but it doesn't bother me. This is Itachi from Naruto, who is one of my all-time favorite anime characters. I'm really appreciative of Pixie Blood for making this for me. I think it's so cute. Yeah, I'm excited to get those potted up. Just have to find the perfect things for them. Okay, we are getting to the end of this tour, I promise. I have to show you another one from the American Gringo. Well, let me show you the back of it because the leaves kind of hide the front. This one is made by PD Pots by Pablo. Again, ordered from the American Gringo. This gives me very much the death cactus vibes, like with the shape and the texture. I really liked this one though, how it's a little bit taller and then kind of bulbous up top. I think it's really cute, and it houses, I might as well just show you my Philodendron giganteum, which is getting gigantic. For a saucer, since it does have some very killer drainage holes down there, I use this silver dish thing that I thrifted as the saucer, and it works really well. I think it is a good looking little combo, and I love it. A couple more that I want to show you because I made them and I am proud of them. Well, I kind of made one of them. This is another one that I made out of polymer clay. I don't love this one as much as the ones upstairs, which is why it's downstairs. Not sure how I feel about the legs, but I do really like the daisy vibe I got going on. And I'm also not a super fan of this super seafoam color. I wish it was a little more turquoisey, but I am still very proud of myself that I had the patience to sit there and make these individual little flower petals and then flowers and then add them onto this planter that I made, you know. It is my little reminder to myself that when I get the time to make something, I can like make kind of cool things, you know. Reminds me that I have hobbies. Maybe I should like give this one away since I'm not like the biggest fan of it. And I don't know if I would really pot something into it. I mean, I did have something potted in it at some point, but it grew out, so it is what it is. That's the problem. I love small planters, but yeah, the problem with small planters is things grow out so fast. I already said that. Anyway, the last one I think I'm going to show you is this one, which I didn't make the actual planter itself, but I did paint this. And yeah, painting is another one of my little like side hobbies. I'm not really like a painter so much as a nail artist. I did actually go to school for nails. I did a lot of like editorial work, and I'm kind of trying where I don't do that anymore because it was too much traveling, especially now that I have kids. There's no way I could travel as much as I was having to back in my editorial nail artist days. I'm trying to find like different outlets for that hobby, I guess. And yeah, this is the outlet I found, painting a single planter, which I have not had time to paint another one since, but I do really like this. And I don't know if that's like annoying of me to say about my own work, but you know what? Any like artists out there, not that I'm calling myself an artist, I would hope that they would love their own work. You know, like why make it if you don't love it yourself? A bunch of florals because that was my bread and butter back in my nail art days. Last little note I wanted to mention is actually above my cabinets. So this is kind of funny. I think this is kind of funny, but also kind of smart. Above my cabinets, I have like this much of a gap between the top of the kitchen cabinet and the ceiling. And I've actually started buying like little vessels, old like bakeware, that kind of thing to put up there. But I'm thrifting these things that I think are cute, but they can also become plant holding vessels, planters, vases, plant display kind of things if I run out at any point. If push comes to shove and I buy a plant and I'm like, I don't know what to put in this, I can always go to the top of my cabinets and be like, do I have any on display up here that I can use for a plant? And maybe I do. So yeah, there are a variety of different things, different little containers up there that could be cool for a plant. Just throwing that in there, that just because you have like empty pots and stuff, you can still put them on display and like use them in your home decor, you know, even if it doesn't house a plant. Not that it really matters, but I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there, okay? Because I do have a lot of little things up there. That is it for my partial planter collection tour. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye!